Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world, and it's New Year's Eve, the center of the year, right? The old ends, the new begins, the one, right? The moment, the now, the transition, the death, the birth, the now. So what is all this about metaphorically, you see? Zen is a metaphorical way of being in the world. Zen is a metaphorical way of seeing the world so that everything is its own opposite. And out of that contradiction, you laugh, you break out, you see, you get an idea, you create, you speak the word, your word. Your word breaks out of the contradiction, and that's Zen. Your word is a celebration of you. The lion's roar of Buddha is you, the breakout, the word, the laughter. So this morning, when I came down to my computer, there was a Facebook memory. You know, they come up, and I do find, of course this is my own conspiratorial mind, is that they always seem to be appropriate to what I'm doing. Like, suddenly, maybe it's my birthday, and a memory of my mother will pop up, something like that, So today, there was this memory, I had posted this some time ago. This was a little brass frog that my uncle found in a flea shop. And he left me all of his jokes, his stuff, little brass frog, And so this was my memory, when I had first posted it, maybe about 8 years ago or something. And so the story of the brass frog is that I was going to a dermatologist, and he's a really nice, I've forgotten his name, but he collected frogs. Some of you may remember him. He retired. His office was filled with frogs. Everybody brought him a frog. Stuffed frogs, glass frogs, pictures of frogs, frogs everywhere. You could hear the whole room was croaking, croak, croak, croak. So he was retiring, and this was my last visit to him. So I gave him a frog, see, little brass frog. And I said, this frog will fuck all those other frogs. And he laughed, and I laughed. New Year's. In other words, New Year's, we'll get around to it now. New Year's is a laugh. We love New Year's, celebrate New Year's Eve. When the ball falls, everybody laughs, kisses, toasts. Hooray, hooray. Why are we laughing? We're still here. The whole year just died, and guess what? We're still here. We just died, and we're still here. Yesterday died, and guess what? We're still here. It's still now. We celebrate. It's still now. We thought we were going to die. We thought this was the end. We thought this was the last. We thought the world was going to end now. We thought that we were coming to the end of our rope. We just dropped through the hole with a rope around our neck. Ha! And guess what? We're still here. It's still now. Ha! A laugh. We expected the end, but we're still here. We look around. What the fuck? Well, I'm still here. I thought I died. Is that what death is? Oh, I'm afraid of death. I'm afraid of the end. It's going to end. Count the days. I've got this or that. I'm getting old. I'm 84. I'm almost to the end. I'm counting the end, you see. And I turned the frog over. I'm still here. What a laugh. What a joke. What absurd that I've been worried all my life that the end was coming. And guess what? When the end comes, I'm still here. It's still now. It's always now. It's always now. Just a few minutes ago when I was talking was now. And now I'm still now. And you're now listening to this. But what? Wait a minute. Just a minute ago, where was that? It's still now. We're always now. When death and life is now. Everything is now. That's the contradiction. That's the joke. We think it's not now. We think it could be better tomorrow. We think the next year would be better. Best wishes for the next year. Best wishes for the next year, you see. Ha! The next year, when we get there, it's still now. It's always now. At the end of time, it's still now. The brass frog dies in laughter. The brass frog is dead. The brass frog. What is the brass frog? The brass frog is the expectation it's a frog. You think it's a frog. You turn it over. It's not a frog. It's your expectation is defeated. Ha! You expected something and got something else. You expected to die, and you're still alive. You expected to be rich, and you're still poor, but you're alive. You're still now. You're still rich, full of now. Can now be empty of now? Can now be more than now? Can now be less than now? The less and the more? The negative and the positive? It's always zero. It's always now. And now is as full as it can be. Now is brimming with laughter. Now is brimming with life. Because what else can there be? This is it. It's now. It's wake up time. It's now. It's time to laugh. And it's time to turn the brass frog over. Thanks for dropping in. Happy New Year.